Shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the Gym's Camp Atlanta. I'm coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I'm praying I hope this lesson is edifying. I got a video, from the brother from Arrows of Indignation. And, hey, the Lord is flipping the script, man. The time of y'all women is over with. Okay. The time of y'all women is over with. Y'all have proven to be unworthy to have authority. Okay. And you have shown that you're servant class. Okay. Because that's, a servant, he looks at the master and wants to be the master and wants to have the authority and the control that the master has, but they don't have it in them to have that. Okay. They don't have that authority. You weren't made to be in that place. So now here we have it. You have women that are now calling out other women, in regard to their behavior. And this is happening all over the internet, but specifically how women are losing control and have lost control of these children. Okay. And uh um it's because, there's no man in the house. The man has been completely thrown out. And women, they as a matter of fact, precept that I didn't have, I want to start off with. You see, a lot of y'all women, y'all think y'all are intelligent. Y'all think y'all have understanding, but really, y'all women are stupid. Okay, you were not given understanding to do certain things. You were supposed to be given understanding by your husband. Okay, your husband is the one who gives you the understanding to be able to navigate his house. All right, that's why the scripture says if she will learn anything at all, she will learn it from her husband at home. Okay, because the Lord ain't dealing with y'all women. The Lord ain't dealing with y'all. He's dealing with the man. And then the man, he gives the instructions to the woman. And that's how it's supposed to work. But see, now you got these women with no instructions, and they're the ones raising the next generation. So what do you think is going to happen generation by generation? Well, the children are going to become worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse because there's no standard for them to live by. This is Job 39 and 17. It says, because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. You see that? So the Lord did not give these women understanding. They don't even understand the consequence of their actions. They don't understand the consequence of their actions. As the scripture says, without vision, my people perish. Well, see, women don't have any vision. They can't see 2, 3, 4, 5 years of how this particular action, how it's going to affect them in a negative way later on. Okay. And hold on one second. All right. And now, fast forward, you have all these dumbass women out here who think that they done got these degrees and all this stuff. Like any of that stuff matter. It doesn't. It's just all an ego trip. And then you have Esau who has given this weaker vessel, which is the woman, this authority in Jerusalem, which and when I say Jerusalem, I'm speaking about the Israelites, okay? Because Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, right? And the women have been given control over the children, and they just destroyed everything. They've been weaponized against the Israelite man. And you see, the weapon don't realize that it's a weapon of destruction, and that's what makes it makes them extra stupid. They don't realize that they have been used as a weapon to destroy their family because that's the enemy. The enemy, okay, the enemy has been using you as a weapon. And where do you hear a lot of these women side with? Like I seen a video once where these women was talking about we need to kill black men and take them out. This happened a couple of days ago. Well, where are you getting this rhetoric from? Well, you're getting this from the enemy. The enemy's programming your dumb ass to think like that. Okay? because you want to have it both ways. You want to be able to do whatever the hell you want to do and keep the so-called black man under your thumb. Well, them days are over with, man. The system is changing. Everything is changing. All right. And the Lord is about to turn everything right side up. And what's going to happen when you turn everything right side up? Well, things are going to get shooken up. Things are going to get destroyed. Things that aren't supposed to be there are going to be taken out. All right. So, you got these women out here raising these badass kids. Oh, you know what? I got one real quick. I'm gonna go to Second Ezra's. Now we bring out this precept, Second Ezra's, and we know that it's speaking about the retardation or the deformities of children. When it says, well, I'm just getting it. Second Ezra 6:22. It says, this is Second Ezra 6:22, and it says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the storehouses shall this isn't." Is that right? Give me 1 second, Aki. It's like it's the wrong precept. Let me find it. How did I get that? All right, here it is. Second Ezra 5:8, I believe. Yeah, and it says, "There shall be confusion in so many places," and that's what we're seeing right now. Confusion, right? And when it says confusion, it's talking about a plethora of things, even sexual identity. Women on women, men on men. And it says, "And fire shall be off sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters." Okay, and that's why you're seeing a lot of animals now coming into the cities because animals are they're getting fed up. But menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Now we know that's talking about deformities and Down syndrome and all that thing. However, you can have a mental deformity. You can have your brain can be messed up. Okay, you can be mentally retarded, which is a deformity. Okay, you can be slow, which retardation is a slow of thoughts. Okay, to not catch it real quick. All right, which is a deformity. Okay, and you have all of these YNs running out here, these little young men and women, these niggas and females running around here doing all type of crazy shit, but more so these women that are out here raising these badass kids, thinking that they doing something. So now the script is flipping. So I got a video here from the brother Arrows and Indignation, and so it's a pretty good video. I'm gonna go ahead and play the whole thing. So it's gonna be kind of long, but hey, there's a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and you see the copyright disclaimer. This it normally goes a little bit long, about 20 seconds. So I'm gonna go straight to the. Come on, you stupid mouse.
See, Chicago, now we know after this incident and these kids' mothers' responses or lack thereof, we now have the answer to our problem. It's these deadbeat ass mammies that's not raising their kids in Chicago. These are the same mothers.
And I just have to say, this has been the problem. This has been the problem. When I was a kid, my mother, was an abusive, promiscuous woman, and I'm not trying to speak bad about the woman, but I'm just saying this is what I saw as a kid, um, very abusive, verbally, physically, and mentally, and at the same time, she had there was a lot of men that was always over my house. Okay. Now I'm quite sure this is true for a lot of young men out there, what they seen in their mothers. All right.
That would allow their kids to go into the streets and steal, kill, carjack people, rob people, do God knows what, and they know that they can go to their mother's home because they're going to protect them. They are raising menaces to society, okay? And when they are in the ground, when somebody kills them, I don't want to see Facebook posts crying with GoFundMe asking us to bury your child because you could have corrected this shit a long time ago. I stay on the west side of Chicago and I'm a single mother. My son doesn't know what a gang is. He don't know the colors. He don't know what a GD, BD, FO, Vice Lord, whatever. He knows about none of that shit. That's intentional because I don't raise my son in that environment and I don't expose my son to shit. That low level, barbaric, animalistic shit them kids did, and y'all gonna have them at home for the next day, my mama would have marched my ass right to the school or the police station. And if I would have got expelled, she probably would have shipped my ass to go stay with my daddy because she didn't raise me like that. And a mom's response about her being on the honor roll and cheerleading captain, none of that shit translates to the real world, where she just acted like a fucking heathen, acted like she was on baddies. They got it, the shit kicked off. She's not a follower. She's actually a ringleader. But her tears may move you. They don't do anything for us. They don't do.
And see, that's one of the biggest problems of y'all niggas out there. These wicked ass fucking Israelites, these badass children, these demon spawns, they go out there and they do some bullshit that get them unalived, right? Taken out of here. And then you want to sit there and be like, oh my baby, instead of saying, oh, that's what that nigga get. You see, y'all don't understand what justice is. Look, we're not put here to be some terrible fucking human beings, man. We're not here to terrorize everybody. I mean, that's what the 2/3 are here for. That's why they're about to be destroyed, and that's why they're being destroyed. But at the end of the day, you're not supposed to be doing all that shit. You're not supposed to be out here terrorizing people. Okay? You're not supposed to be out here doing that. And in the moment, knowing that this system, this isn't new knowledge. This is like ingrained in us. We know that the system is not for us from little. We know that things that happen, crimes that we're charged for, that Jake is charged for, you get way more punishment than the crimes that these other races are charged for, especially the Edomites. You know that if you're in the wrong neighborhood or you get pulled over by the wrong cop, you could potentially lose your life. You know this shit. Even these younger Jakes know this. And yet you still want to go out and act a fool and put on a show for people. So then when you get taken out of here, right? When you get taken out of here, then all of a sudden, oh, my baby, man, shut up. Shut up. You didn't listen to nothing else that anybody else said. Let me go ahead and let her, as a matter of fact, let me, get another preset. This is the Book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 3. It says, even the sea monster draw out their breasts, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness. You don't give no guidance, no provision. You'll leave your children to go out and have fun. You put the daddy out, which is the biggest thing right there. You have multiple baby daddies, crazy, bugged out in the mind, think that you have a standing on anything. This is why people have our people have to be destroyed. Okay, and they have to come back in a pure body. Okay, because they will never get it on this side. They're too far gone. There's no salvaging this shit. Okay, the daughters of Israel, have become cruel, man. They don't give two shits about that. That's why they bring forth monsters. Okay, they don't, like she said in the video, eating ramen noodles. Listen.
You may fall for it. We're not falling for that bullshit. Her having more than the next child had nothing to do with her acting like that and putting her hands on a grown-ass woman. That's lack of parenting. That's actually horrible parenting.
You see that? Horrible parenting. Lack of accountability. It is cruel not to teach your child proper etiquette and proper behavior and how to conduct themselves in society. That is a cruel task right there. That is a cruel thing to do to your child. To not give your child what they need, how to behave themselves at a young age. You're teaching them all of the things they shouldn't know how to do. All the things that they shouldn't do is what you're teaching them.
So you got to take the dads off the table right now. Now we're going to talk woman to woman. Because when you are in the house, you're the only one in the house, you're responsible for the fruit that you bear. You're responsible. You're supposed to put your kids in a cultivating, loving environment. And some shit you just don't expose your kids to. Those kids are raising themselves. Y'all are the same bitches that's at every club, every weekend, outside, bike night, whatever, pill popping, drug addict, drinking bitches. Probably don't come home. Your kids probably eat noodles 3-4 times a day because you don't cook. You don't raise your kids.
You see? All those things. This is exactly what be happening. I was doing a DoorDash, just to speak to this. I was doing a DoorDash order one time, and it was it was Instacart, and it was a shop and pay order, all right? And I went to Kroger to pick out some stuff. And it was like a pack of spicy ramen noodles, chicken, Denison, a pack of, not Denison, but whatever brand it is, but a pack of regular chicken noodles. Then they wanted a 12-pack of the cheap noodles, but they didn't have it, so I ended up getting the 6-pack of noodles, And then it was something else that was noodle related. I can't remember. But it was just nothing but noodles, pretty much. Okay, it actually costs more for that person to have those noodles delivered than the noodles themselves, right? So I get to the house and I drop the food off. And man, it was a little cute little high yellow chick answering the door, and I'm just looking at this shit like. As soon as I see the first thing I said, damn, she cute as hell, can't cook, worthless, trash. Okay. Probably got children, and she had a bonnet on. So I'm like, probably got children in the house, and she's feeding the children ramen noodles. This is their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Or she eating ramen noodles, which is absolutely ridiculous. You see? So I witnessed it firsthand. I've been to chicks' houses in the past where I'll go into the house and I feel uncomfortable because of how nasty the house is. You're like, damn, you don't clean up your house? You see? So as she says, as the scripture says in Lamentations, even the sea monsters, read it again. Let's go to Lamentations again. Oh, here you go. Salakia. This is Lamentations 4:3. It says, even the sea monsters draw out their breast. So that means that our women are worse than the sea monsters. Now here it is, monsters connected to that. These are freaking horrible. These are beings of immense power and size. Sea monsters, and they draw out their breasts, and they give suck to their little ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel like the ostrich in the wilderness, and the ostrich will leave her eggs. Will bury them and just leave the eggs in the sand and hope that nobody go and kill her eggs. Hope hey, see y'all later. Hope y'all hatch right. And then she said these women be leaving their kids in the house, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, feeding them ramen while they going out drinking, hopping from riding a cock carousel. And then you wonder why nobody wants your ass. Everybody. We tired of that baby mama epidemic. Run from that shit. We don't care. Look, the days of us go. Oh man, of course you do still have some men out there who fall in that, but for the most part, you have a lot of men that are seeing these women out here and saying, "Nah, you dress like that. Nah, you look like that. Nah." Like you got that septic piercing. Oh, you tatted up. Oh, you want to walk around looking like a hoe. Oh, you want to wear colored hair. Oh, you don't have any etiquette. Oh, well, I'm not dealing with you. Just based off of how you look, I can tell how you're gonna be. Those days are over with, man. They coming to an end. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up.
And they are the products of their environment. Baby daddies is getting full custody of the kids. And they getting child support. I never thought I'd see today. Damn. Okay. Mama's is outside. Mama's is at the club and the bar. Okay. Mama's is laid up with some nigga and she not worried about them kids. 2025. How the roles have swapped. Mamas went from crying and complaining about, oh, he not around, he don't do this for the kids, he don't do that and everything else, and I don't know where he is.
Which has pretty much never been the case. Do you have some deadbeat dads out there? Of course you do. Okay, you do have men that are up and leave their children, of course. However, so-called Jake fathers, especially the Negro father, is the most involved father. These women purposefully push the man out of the child's life and then blame them, and say it's the dad's fault, You push the child out of the father's life. And any father is going to be reluctant. I know because I'm in this situation. They're going to be reluctant to pay child support to you when they can't have access to their children regularly, when you control everything. Okay? These fathers are like, nah, we're not about to sit here and do that. And then, it takes a lot of money to fight for custody of your child. And most of these men are already in a hard situation. Okay?
And everything, now the fathers is talking about, I don't know where she at, and I got it. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm kind of proud a little bit, to the father stepping up, yes. But I'm also disappointed. Like, mamas, why you out here leaving y'all babies for some nigga? You let that man get full custody of the kids for a nigga? You want to be free, but that decision left out the window when you have the baby. So, I don't understand. I don't, it shouldn't be like this. Not like it shouldn't be like this, like fathers shouldn't be able to put mamas on child support. It should be like this because there should be no reason why the mama is on child support. There should be no reason why the mamas is not in their child's life. That's crazy to me. Mamas is not in their child's life. But you birthed them. And you had a choice. That's deep. That's deep.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying?
All right, now look. I'm gonna go to the book of Deuteronomy because this all goes back to these curses. No matter what anybody says, at the end of the day, y'all women's behavior goes back to the Heavenly Father cursing the children of Israel. Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy 56. And it says, and the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for tender and delicateness, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom. I hate that nigga. Okay, he can go out. Let me go find another cock to ride. And toward her son and toward her daughter. Okay, that's her children. And for a woman to behave like that toward her children, nonchalant, not caring, leaving, that shows that she hates those children. Verse 57, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. You heard her when she said, y'all birthed him. Y'all birthed him. Yeah. Well, the scriptures say that they're not going to care. They're going to birth them, and then they're going to abandon them. And this has been happening. You know, when things like this become a talking point, that's because it's come to a head. It's come to a turning point. Okay? This isn't something new. Women been doing this shit. Okay? You sit here and act like you say, that's crazy. No, shut up. Y'all females been doing that shit. Y'all just ain't never been held accountable for y'all actions. Just like Esau, who's been a vagabond and a fugitive, right? Who's never been punished for his crimes. You women ain't never been punished for y'all crimes. Okay? And all these things are coming to a head. That's all that is. Verse 57 again, it says, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them in the want of all things secretly in the siege and in the straitness wherein the enemy shall distress thee in the gates. And, you know, this is coming. You know, there's accounts where women have been eating their children. Okay. All right. There's been accounts where women have been eating their children in the scriptures. And that's going to happen again in today's day and age. Okay, you women are going to eat your children, because if you leave them to die, of course you eat them up. Okay, you don't value their life, so if you're gonna leave them to die, of course you're gonna eat them up. All right, you can be looking at that baby like a little steak, a little steaklet. Okay. And y'all women don't think there's anything wrong with what y'all do, and that's what leads me to this next precept. This is Proverbs 30 and 20. It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. They have taken no accountability for anything that they've done. And even these women in here, the first woman, she was kind of on point when she was telling women to take accountability. But this one right here,
also disappointed. Like, mamas, why you out here leaving y'all babies for some nigga? You let that man get full custody of the kids?
and see, and you can look at her and tell that she's a product of the cock carousel too. Just because you ain't got pregnant by a dude don't mean that you ain't doing the same wickedness that these women you may have not gotten pregnant. Don't mean you ain't doing the same wickedness these bitches out here doing, man. You women and don't have no accountability for shit. What you mean? But they've been doing that. This ain't nothing new. Women been leaving their kids. It's just that y'all been given a pass because y'all been women. That's it. Okay? But now the old way is coming back. The old mindset is coming back. The old mindset where men understood that women are inherently wicked. That bitch is, she's inherently wicked. You got to keep your eye on her, man. Okay? Because this damn devil is going to go off soon. You know? She going to go off. So you need to be aware. That's why the scriptures say, marvel not if they trespass against you, because you're supposed to know the nature of these wicked ass women out here. They ain't accountable for shit. All right? So, hey, even the sisters are saying that y'all women are the problem. You know? Even your sisters are saying, you know, that y'all are the problem. And the Lord is correcting that problem. So with that, I pray this edifying lesson, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakar Kadash, and Shalom.